see about treatment of type 1 diabetes mellitus. To give an overview of what are we going to see in this session, we'll see what is the pathogenesis of this disease, we'll see what are the treatment strategies, we'll see what are the principles behind initiating insulin therapy, what are the treatment goals to be achieved, and finally how to titrate treatment. Now let's go one by one. Let's see what is the pathogenesis of this disease. Now if you look into type 1 diabetes, there is beta cell destruction. This beta cell destruction is immune mediated, and because of this beta cell destruction there is absence of insulin secretion. Near total absence of insulin secretion occurs because of beta cell destruction. Now the treatment strategy becomes very simple. Now there is some deficiency, there is total deficiency of some hormone or substance in the body. Now the strategy is very simple. Whenever there is deficiency, we need to give that substance exogenously. So our treatment strategy is to administer insulin exogenously. So it's a very simple treatment strategy. Right. Now let us see what are the principles behind initiating insulin therapy in a treatment for treatment of type 1 diabetes. Now let's see the principles. The first principle is how do we calculate the total dose of insulin for initiation. So the total dose for initiation equal to 0.6 units into body weight. That's the first principle which is used to find out what is the total amount of insulin a type 1 diabetes patient requires for initiating treatment. Now once we have calculated this total dose, now this needs to be, I'll talk about principles for especially 2 injection regime. So now this is common for whatever injection regime we start. Now let's see only 2 injection regime, because in our setup this is the most commonly used regime. Right. Now how do we divide this total dose? We are going to give it as morning dose, and we are going to give it as evening dose. So morning dose is 2/3 of the total dose. So evening dose becomes 1/3 of the total dose. So that's the second principle which tells how much of the total dose should be given in the morning and how much should be given in the evening. Now let's see the third principle. The third principle says among the morning dose, 2/3 is given as long acting and 1/3 is given as short acting. So 2/3 of it is given as long or intermediate acting, and 1/3 of morning dose is short acting. Now if you see the evening dose, it is 1/2 is given as long acting or intermediate acting, and the rest, the other half, is given as short acting. So these are the 3 basic principles which initiate. To tell it again, the total dose is calculated as 0.6 units into total body weight. Of that total dose, morning dose constitutes 2/3 of the total dose, and evening dose constitute 1/3. Morning dose is again divided into 2/3 containing a long or intermediate acting, and 1/3 is given as short acting. Evening dose is half of that is given as long or intermediate acting and half as short acting. Now to explain this with an example, let's take a small real life scenario. Type 1 diabetes, usually the patient is a small child, right? So now let's take the weight of this child or the boy who is diagnosed to have this type 1 diabetes, let's say 30 kilo. Now, what is the total dose required for this boy? Total dose equal to 0.6 into 30. So it comes to 18 units, isn't it? So this is the total dose requirement for this boy. Now his morning dose is 2/3 of this, which will be 12 units, isn't it? Right. Now evening dose becomes the remaining 1/3, isn't it? So evening dose becomes 1/3, which is 6 units. Now again, if we divide this morning dose is divided into 2/3 intermediate acting or short acting and 1/3 1/3 short acting. So intermediate acting or long acting and 1/3 short acting. Now 2/3 of 12 is 8 units and 1/3 of short acting becomes 4 units, isn't it? Right. Now the evening dose, if you look into, again this is half short acting and half intermediate and long acting, isn't it? So this becomes 3 units. This short acting becomes again 3 units. So are we clear? So these are the principles and how this principle is applied in a real life situation. Now how will we actually be initiating this regime? Let's see that also. Now let's take for this boy, we know that for a 2 injection regime we need to give a short acting or rapid acting insulin along with the intermediate acting insulin. Now we have our regular insulin, which is a short acting insulin, and we have a NPH, neutral protamine hydrotron insulin or isophane insulin, which is an intermediate acting. Now, so we need to give it as 2 injection regime, isn't it? So one is given in the morning, the next injection is given in the evening. Now let's see how we are going to give for this boy. So short acting insulin, regular insulin, morning how much we need to give? So morning dose short acting is 4 units, right? And short acting insulin evening is 3 units. Now intermediate acting insulin, NPH insulin, intermediate acting insulin in the morning is 2/3, which is 8 units. And in the evening it's half, which is 3 units. So now this is what we are going to prescribe for this boy with type 1 diabetes. So his regular insulin in the morning will be 4 units. His NPH insulin in the morning will be 8 units. Now how do we actually administer this? We also know that there are pre-mixed insulins. You might be aware of this so-called pre-mixed insulins, which are available in 2 ratios of, the first is what is called as 70-30, the other ratio in which is pre-mixed insulin or what is so-called biphasic insulin, which is nothing but a combination of both a short acting as well as a intermediate acting insulin. Now if you look into, there are 2 different mixers of insulin available. Now if you ask why are they available in this 70-30 and 50-50 ratio, the rationale is very much linked to here. Now if you look into morning dose, 2/3 is intermediate acting and 1/3 is short acting, isn't it? That's why this ratio of 70-30 of intermediate acting and short acting is available. So this pre-mixed insulin of 70-30 is used for the morning dose, and we have another pre-mixed insulin of 50-50. Now you can see here, by principle, evening dose we have to give half of it is intermediate acting or long acting, and the other half is short acting. So that's why this is available for a 50-50 mix. So this 70-30 is very ideally preferred for morning use, and this is for the evening use in a 2 injection regime. Now coming back to how are we actually going to administer this, regular insulin is available as a clear insulin. We can easily ask the patient to identify insulin which is clear as water, and NPH insulin is cloudy. The reason why this is clear and this is cloudy is that this has more amounts of zinc or protamine or the protein compared to regular insulin. Now when we have these two vials, regular insulin, NPH insulin separately, always ask the patient to take regular insulin first in the syringe 4 units, then in the same syringe he can take NPH insulin 8 units and inject it subcutaneously. The reason why regular insulin needs to be taken is, whenever we try to take regular insulin and inject the same needle into NPH, it might small amount might be 1 drop might get contaminated. So if we do the other way, the regular insulin might become more contaminated with the NPH, and in a long run it will not be regular. Why this needs to be regular pure is that in case of emergency, if you want to give it, it should act immediately. That's why this does not to be contaminated, whereas NPH can be taken after taking regular insulin. Right. Now let's go to the treatment goals. So this is how we start a treatment regime for treatment of type 1 diabetes in a patient. Now let's see what are the goals to be achieved and how are we going to titrate dose with this patient. Now let's take the glycemic goals to be achieved. There are 3 goals as far as glycemic goals goes. Hemoglobin A1C less than 7%, the first goal. Then fasting blood glucose should be 70 to 130 milligrams per deciliter, and postprandial, 2-hour postprandial should be less than 180 milligrams per deciliter. So these are the 3 treatment goals or the glycemic goals which need to be achieved. This is same for type 1 as well as type 2 also. Now let's say we have started this patient on this regime, 2 injection regime, and we want to now find out whether these goals are not achieved or not, and we are seeing that this is not achieved, or how do we go ahead with titrating the dose. Now to titrate the dose in this patient, how frequently dose titration with insulin therapy can be done? It can be done as short as 2 to 3 days. But it is not necessary that you have to ask the patient to daily monitor and daily change that. That's not required. But once you have initiated, we need to monitor that. Now to titrate it, we can ask the self-monitoring of blood glucose by the patient can be very easily done, and we can educate them to alter the dose by themselves also. Now based on what? Four things we need to. What is their blood glucose level before breakfast, that is fasting? What is their blood glucose before lunch? What is their blood glucose before evening meal? And finally, what is their blood glucose before bedtime? Now if you measure these 4 levels, we can very easily titrate. Now you can very well see here that these 4 levels correspond to, now if the before breakfast level is not maintained, let's say the blood glucose level is high. Now it's very obvious that we need to alter the under 2 injection regime the evening dose of intermediate acting needs to be altered. If before lunch level is not maintained, then we need to alter the morning short acting. If before evening meal sugar levels are not maintained, we need to alter the morning intermediate acting. And finally, if before bedtime is not altered, then we need to change the short acting. Now, how much should be the magnitude of change? The magnitude of change is usually 2 to 4 units. Never change above 4 units, and you can either increase or decrease. Ask the patient whether he is having symptoms of hypoglycemia. If so, then you need to reduce the dose by 2 to 4 units. Or if the blood level, first glucose level goes below 70, then you need to take care of reducing the glucose insulin level. If it is above what has been told as the target, then you need to increase the insulin level. So you need to see the levels and you can alter which component of it. Still, by altering, again we try to maintain the ratio of this 2/3, 1/3 and half as far as possible, so that those patients who are using pre-mixed this thing can also easily use these injections. Right? So that's about how to titrate and go ahead with this patient. So to summarize, what have we seen in this session? We saw that type 1 diabetes is due to beta cell, immune mediated beta cell destruction, and because beta cells are destroyed, there is absolute or near total deficiency of insulin. So our treatment strategy becomes very simple. We have deficiency of insulin, we need to substitute or give exogenously insulin. 3 principles operate for the substitution of insulin or initiation of insulin therapy in a type 1 patient. The total dose is calculated as 0.6 into kilogram body, the total body weight, and 2/3 of the total dose is given by morning and 1/3 is given in the evening. Again, the morning 2/3 intermediate or short acting is given, and 1/3 intermediate or long acting is given 2/3 in the morning, and 1/3 is given as short acting. In the evening, each component is half. The long acting or the intermediate acting takes 1/2, the other half given by the short acting. So that's the principles in initiating therapy. And we saw the glycemic goals: hemoglobin less than 7, fasting 70 to 130 postprandial, and we also saw 4 levels when we want to take the levels and titrate accordingly in the magnitude of 2 to 4 units. So that's all. Thank you very much. If you have any doubts, please get back.